step into the spotlight, it's the Dynasty team. Brian B. Money making all the dreams gleam. Carl Smitty Smith, watch him rise in the scene. Together they ignite, it's the ultimate scheme. Hold on tight, feel the hype, we're just getting started. Dynasty's BS Show, we're climbing to the peak. B Money and Smitty, every episode unique. Confidence high, yeah, we never stay weak. Tune in with us, learn the craft and technique.
When they're off to training camp, they tend to prove just why we can't. Godly plays turn into clips, so Smitty can overreact to it. Athletes playing in the sun, one-hat catches, breakaway runs, and it makes me feel so good because real football is on its way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dynasty Bs Show. Today is July 29, 2026, and we are covering some early fantasy-relevant storylines, injury news, and training camp, and also introducing a new segment that we are calling Ride or Die. Before we get into that, Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Your song was great, but let's get some hype in here, Smitty. Let's get this going. You want to know what just happened? Oh, baby. Training camp just started, baby. We are 2 days into training camp. We are rolling. You know what that means? It's about to get real, Smitty.
Man.
All these calls we've been making all year, all these trades, all these rookie drafts, all these best ball teams. We're getting ready for redraft. Dude, it's here. It's here, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait, but I will give you credit. Weezer. I love Weezer, man. You get a little Rivers going, Rivers Cuomo going. I love that guy. So good job. But let's just jump into this, man. We're just going to talk about some news, some ride or dies. I gave you the number one thing I wanted to talk about that I saw a little clip on that I don't think enough people are talking about. I'm going to talk about Wes Welker's return. Hit me with it, Smitty.
So the Washington Commanders decided to hire all-pro receiver Wes Welker of Patriots fame as their tight ends coach. To be honest, I had no idea how I felt about this because I don't know. I guess you really do want knowledge from a former player, so that really gives this group an edge up. But I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this for the tight ends. I hope it works out well because we have high hopes on. At least I do. What are your thoughts on this hiring here?
My eyes lit up. I felt so good when I read this. The reality, I'm already loving Chigakongwa this year. Like, legitimately loving. There is no wide receiver 2 on that team, and it may as well be him. They underutilized him in Tennessee, but what I love about this is Chig's an undersized tight end. And what was Wes Welker? He was an undersized wide receiver. So he had to rely on his skill set of understanding the game, getting into the open zones, cutting. And I think that transitions to a tight end very well that's undersized. And it's not like Chig's the smallest tight end in the league. He's not, but he's not a big tight end by any means that's in there blocking all the time. So I think this is big for Chig. Really big. Who's the wide receiver 2? I mean, Smitty, who is it? You love this team.
I mean, honestly, it could be Treylon Burks. I'm willing to give that a shot, but not in too many leagues, to be honest. But yeah, it might honestly just have to be Chig by default.
I believe it's Chig. And I think in a tight end premium league, he's a guy that you want, and you can't get him now if you don't have him. The cost is high. But I know who the wide receiver 2 is not going to be on this team. And you know me, I'll never take a moment not to call a player out for doing some really stupid stuff. But it's not Brandon Ayuk. I don't see this happening. I just want to say to our listeners, they know I always get mad at these things. But that social media, you can't win the race if you don't finish thing on Kyle Shanahan, man. Shame on that guy. We don't need people like Brandon Ayuk in our game at all. Fantasy, real. We don't need that stuff. That's wrong, man. That's you're getting into someone's personal life, right, Smitty?
Okay, so my favorite thing about my dislike for the Niners is that it comes from a place of respect and genuine reverence and fear, actually. And Kyle Shanahan, he knows how to whoop up on the Rams. So even though I dislike him low-key, I really respect him. So for him to get injured at all in any type of situation is flat out awful. It's flat out awful. And for Brandon Ayuk to even poke fun at it in any way, dude, Okay, it was funny when he was making fun of the Niners as an organization. It was really fun for him to do. It was really funny for me to hear you do that, a former player. I'm like, it says a lot about your organization. But now I realize that it's nothing to do with the organization. Even though they made some silly issues, and at the end of the day, Brandon Ayuk has problems. He is just, I don't even know the proper way to say it because it's just so enraging. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really want him to get signed anywhere. Also, he was making fun of Jaden Daniels and his mother's relationship. I really didn't care for that either. So this guy's he's done. I don't want him nowhere near the Commanders, honestly.
Find some help. I mean, like, if you're Dan Campbell, you're not sitting there saying, this is the type of guy I want to bring into this locker room 1 year removed from an NFC championship game. And I don't know, but get out of the league, man. Get some help, whatever it is. But all right, sad story, but let's get into ride or die. I've been wanting to talk about this. So, ride or die, people, listeners out there. These are players that you really got to you got to plant your flag on. You're either in or you're out for the most part. People coming off injuries, bad years, second year players last year that didn't do well, or just players that didn't meet expectations that you're going to have to draft at a spot that you feel comfortable with. So first one, Smitty, I don't mind taking a victory lap here and there, but I have accumulated a lot of Malik Neighbors shares over the offseason and I've never once been worried about this injury whatsoever. And he didn't open up on the pup. So the thing about this that I didn't text you, Smitty, is this is training camp pup. You can go on and off the pup whenever you want. So he might end up getting back on there. Who knows? But the reality is he's looking good. He's out there running routes. Hit that clip. Hit that clip.
All right. All right. There he is, man. There he is.
That looks good, but I think your internet sucks. So stop sharing your screen. That looks horrible. But either way, y'all didn't see that. That was a good route. How are you feeling, Smitty? You gave up a lot of neighbor shares.
Yeah, I gave up all my neighbor shares on every single contending team. So that's awkward because, hey, on a contending team, healthy neighbors, that's a real plus. So, I mean, look, he had 2 different types of surgeries and they're all kind of scary. And I expected, and I not even assumed, not even guess, I straight up expected a slower ramp up than most receivers. But I mean, what I did not account for is his youth. I didn't account for that at all. The kid's very young, so he heals like Wolverine. And I got to eat crow on this one. I really do.
Told you my plan when I started buying him. It was never about the start of the season. It was about making a playoff push with him entering it, possibly doing at full capacity. But I don't think he's going to go back to what he was as a rookie year. I do think that slows him a little bit, but I'll take a little less than his rookie year for damn sure.
I mean, yeah, like that's another one of those receiving rooms where it's just him likely and then the ghost of OBJ. I'm trying to remember who else is on the squad. I don't know. Darius Slayton's still there. I can't tell you who's on the team right now. So even if he is less than he was on his rookie season, that's still a really great player and a very important target. So yeah, shout out to Link Neighbors. Sorry for those who panic sold him like I did. Sorry for those who's just, I don't know. Sorry for any of those people that sold him, and congratulations to the buyers because it feels like an asset that just got even better. The right time,
too. The buying moment might have ended. The selling moment could quite possibly have started if you think about it. And we got to figure if we are going to ride or we are going to die. So I'm in a best ball draft here. Okay. So forget startups, all of that. We're figuring out right now, this year, or trade for him for next year. Where are we at with this? So in this Superflex best ball start 10 that I'm doing, Malik Neighbors went at the 3-2. So you're
3-2?
drafting Malik Neighbors as minimum wide receiver 2 on your team, probably 1 or 3, depending on your build. But are you going to ride or are you going to die on this? He's expensive now.
I'm going to go with, I don't really want to kick off our segment being on the fence, but that is how I feel.
No, you don't get to be on the fence.
Yeah, so
we don't do a podcast to be on the fence, man. People listen to us because they are on the fence.
That is a great point. With that being the case, uh, I kind of have to buy it strictly because I really don't know what other weapons they have. I really don't. I mean, I do love Cam. I do love Isaiah Likely. And we got Neighbors, and that's it. And honestly, yes, I know they have other receivers in the gang, but I gotta be in just for the target share alone.
Could not agree more. It's no competition if he is healthy. It's his. And what if he goes out there and gets 120 targets and not 150? Because slow start with the injury. 120 targets from Malik Neighbors, I'll take it, man. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. Redraft is where that really starts, figuring that out, because in Dynasty, you can be in and still have an asset that you can move for something usable. But I think I'm in. I don't know if I'd want to ride with Malik Neighbors as my wide receiver 1 this year, but if I can have him as my wide receiver 2 in like a redraft, I'd be very happy. But that would also be meaning going wide receiver build. So I think you got to figure that out as you're doing that. But I'm in, and you're in. So you're in.
Dude, honestly, I have to have one crazy good, if I have like a Bijan or Gibbs, I would not mind. I wouldn't mind having Neighbors as my 1 at all, honestly. I really wouldn't mind that. So I guess I'm more in than I thought I was. Oh, yeah. Oh, we riding, baby.
So if Malik's my 1 on a squad, I have to make sure that I have a onesie at tight end or RB. Then.
I'm with that. Well, absolutely. And that is the only case for him to be my 1. Gotta have that onesie.
Because I do believe he's a 1, but there's a good chance he might finish wide receiver 12 to 15 this year coming off an injury. That's the only thing, but that's still solid production. All right, man. This one I think is a little bit hotter because we've been doing best ball drafting now for the last 3 months. I have noticed you are going to have to be in or out on Bucky, period. Saw on Sleeper Day, Bucky has no limitations with his shoulder. They go and get Gainwell. They got Sean Tucker there. I think we might have a different opinion on this one, but I'd really like it if you don't. So you go first on this one. I'll go first next time.
Sorry, big Gainwell fan. OUT out. And plus, I've heard, I haven't seen it myself. Maybe I will look tonight. But I've heard Sean Tucker is also catching passes. I'm not saying that he never did that. I'm just saying that's huge. That's huge. Like, golly. So yeah, I'm OUT very easily. He doesn't exist on the board to me. I'm so sorry, Bucky. But yeah, I'm past it.
It makes me sad. That makes me sad. Because you know what? It's so much more fun to not be a hater sometimes. Yeah. It's so much more fun. But all right, here's how I break this one down.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about Buzz Lightyear, Devon Achane as one of these elite top tiers because of his absolute ceiling that he can give you on a horrible football team. Any which way you slice it, this is not going to be a good football team in Miami. Maybe they get lucky and they've got some skills for their wide receiver 2s and whoever is actually going to be their 1. Maybe Gesicki can step it up and become a tight end. I don't know, but there's a lot of question marks. And I look at a guy like Achane, I look at a guy like Bucky, and I start thinking to myself, what's the difference? We've seen what Bucky could do from his rookie year. We also saw a guy that was really hurt last year. And I look at that, I'm like, I'm fully in. I think this is going to be a really good offense. Mm-hmm. I think the discount that you're getting on Bucky is absolutely insane. I think from a standpoint of a build where I'm going very wide receiver heavy or whatever the build might be where I'm not thinking about RB, I feel like I'm getting an RB1 at a very, very good discount. So I'm fully in on Bucky. I think that offense is going to be pretty good, Smitty. Is it just last year? I mean, is it just the thoughts of last year of his shoulder being injured all year?
I mean, it's also Gainwell. So I see Gainwell as a shout out to Rachaad White. We love him. We're excited for him this year, but I see Gainwell as a honest to God massive upgrade from what Rachaad White was giving us. And Rachaad White was unfortunately very involved. got in the way of Bucky. Now, yes, like you said, it was because of injury. I understand that. And then the goal line, it still seems to be Tucker. And I'll give you this. I'll give you this. Liam Cohen is pretty great at what he does. He can make these run games freaking pop. I am excited for that. So I can be in, but at the end of the day, I'm just too much of a Gainwell fan. So I think whatever we think of Bucky at his price is exactly what I think of Gainwell. Now I might be too high on the man. We might be talking about an absolute my dude here, but yeah, I just think we got a guy that maybe can do his job better. That's what I'm wondering.
So we usually speak on full PPR formats. That's pretty the standard that we do. Pass catching running back that can take it to the house on any given touch. Mm-hmm. And right now, this is where I like to prey on people. And you know how I treat running backs. I'm built a little different this year just because the NFL changed. But I'm usually looking to buy running backs as they're healthy going through camp, while everyone's getting all the hype on these rookies and these other players that teams just signed. And then you get out there week one, you're like, why is Bucky touching the ball 70% of the time? This shouldn't happen. He was injured last year. They just signed him. And next thing you know, you're like, dude's getting a lot of touches. I'll take 50% of the workload with Bucky. And I think Gainwell is a very good player, but he is Rachaad White to me.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have my stones aren't big enough for me to do some type of Gainwell versus, you know what? Actually, we'll come back next week because I might really be that much more bullish on Gainwell. But dang,
So I like Gainwell. Don't get me wrong, but I've always also liked Rachaad White. So if I think about Gainwell right now, I'm just thinking about how much love is going to Gainwell's side, how much hate is going to Bucky's side, and it's because they hate Bucky. I think Bucky could be a comeback player of the year type gig. I mean, I've always been a big Bucky fan, but last year was brutal. But we just have to remember he handled his business as a rookie.
Absolutely.
All right, so 1 in, 1 out. I can't wait to see how this one finishes out.
Okay.
I mean, are you really sitting here saying that Kenneth Gainwell and Bucky Irvin, if they both stay healthy, they're going to score the same amount of points?
Honestly, I can see it. I can see it. Because I honestly think Gainwell was set. Now, look, obviously the Steelers way less competent than the Buccaneers, but freaking Gainwell was such a shining spot in that offense, and for him to just bring what he was able to do over there, I just think that helps Baker Mayfield by a lot. I mean, without Mike Evans there, we have fewer targets. I understand we also have a new rookie in there in Ted Hurst, but I just feel like, goodness, the backs can really get involved here. And obviously that means something for Bucky, but I really see a role for Gainwell.
My process tells me that Sean Tucker is a bigger threat to Gainwell than him and Gainwell are to Bucky. Tucker's going to eat Gainwell.
Yeah, I can see that.
I agree with you on the goal line. I just don't think he's not being priced as a goal line back to get you 20 touchdowns. So that's the other side of it, is if he gets 6 or 7 touchdowns plus spike weeks, he's worth the price. All right, this one's going to be interesting. I was going to do this one last, but this one actually is a really good debate, even though I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan. But man, you gotta figure out what's your poison with the Arizona Cardinals this year. They're in a tough division with 3 other teams that have very good defenses. I think the top 2 defenses live in NFC West. But Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson goes out and goes ham when Marv was hurt last year. Marv really hasn't done too much unless he's playing the LA Rams. Now, I think you got to make your call on one of these. One, you have to make your call if you're in and out on Marv in general. But the thing is, Michael Wilson's value is so much more expensive than it ever has been. Marv's is cheaper, but they're like marrying each other within the same round. So talk to me about how you feel about my Cardinals.
Okay, well, Michael Wilson is okay. So first off, Jacoby getting signed means we can pretty much assume that this is going to be similar to last year, all kinds of air yards. Oh boy, I am very excited for that. Now, the question is, so I'm in on Wilson, no question about it. I just don't know if I'm in on Marvin yet. In fact, I hate to put him in this. I hate to do this to him, but I'm out. I'm gonna have to. I don't want to say die in his name at the same time, to out of respect for your Cardinals here. But I do want to say I am gonna give him one more year. I'm gonna give him this year to prove himself, which I think he will do, or which I hope he will do rather. And then next year I can be bullish. So I'm out for the year, but I really don't blame anyone who is.
So I've had a philosophy all best ball season. I don't know if I shared this with you, but maybe you noticed this, but I was sharing it with Cassidy. It doesn't matter what draft I am. I just draft one of them. And I've just been going literally every other draft. I do want a lot of pieces of Arizona's offense. Every reason that you just said. I just don't think it's going to matter at the end of the day which one you have. And think about the comments that we heard a little bit in the offseason. And look, it's offseason coach speak, but basically Michael Wilson was saying he's going to play the Puka role and Marvin's going to play the Devontae Adams role. But then you got to dig it deeper and think about what people aren't thinking about is who actually was making those play calls in LA, because that's McVay, not LaFleur, correct?
Yeah.
So what difference does it make whose it is? It wasn't his offense. That's my only thing with that. But Trey McBride is the number one target in here. But if I have to ride or die, I'm going to ride on Marv this year. I'm going to ride on Marv. And I spent a lot of time this offseason tearing down, and I've traded Marv for Wilson in a lot of spots where it made sense. But I'm going to ride with Marv on this one. There's got to be a mindset for a player at some point when your dad's a Hall of Famer and you've struggled. Just the mental coaching you have from the people that you're surrounded with has to be, if he's got the talent, he has to have the people around him to get it out of him and get him through this dark time he was in. So I'm going to go Marv. And you go Marv or Mike?
I'm going Mike for sure.
We're going to
but I just need to
let's
see
just
it.
fucking water bet this right now. If there is a bet, there isn't a better water bet in all of football than who's the wide receiver one of the Arizona Cardinals between Marv and Michael.
I'm with it completely, though. All right.
Put that in your put that down. We're going to go points per game with the minimum 12 games played. 10 games. We'll go 10 games. Points per game. That's fair.
Game 10. Yeah, okay, cool. All right.
Hey, did you see all the news about Nathaniel Hackett talking about how Jordan Love's a rookie and he's so glad he's got James Conner and Tyler Algier in Arizona?
Yeah, right. I mean, look, okay. I mean, obviously, we do shout out to James Conner. We call him the Terminator here, and Tyler Algier is. I mean, he's a great back. So I understand why you'd want to hype them up, but no. Jordan Love is number 3 for a reason. He was drafted number 3 for a reason. I mean, the guy's freaking phenomenal. He's my favorite
so stupid to think.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he was worse than them, he's still going to be out there touching the ball because he was the third pick. So what difference does this make? I hate stupid things at this time of the year. But all right, this is an interesting one, and I don't know if you have to necessarily make a call on whether you're in or out on this player, but I do think you're going to have to make that call on another player because I think this player, actually, he's pushing up these draft boards. You never know when redraft comes along. But after 2 years of healing and rehab, Jonathan Brooks has been a full participant at training camp. Look at all the coaches are saying really good things about him. Looks strong, breaking tackles. Canales has talked very, very, very highly of him. But we've heard this out of training camp over and over and over again. I feel bad for the kid. We've never been able to see what this kid can do. He injured himself right at the back end of his college career, and then it hasn't been good, man. Him and Marshawn Lloyd, man, it's been a little rough for them. But I'm going to give my take on this one first because I keep asking yours. Okay. My big thing about Jonathan Brooks is I think we need to make a call on Hubbard. And part of the reason is because I do view Hubbard as the starting running back of this football team. I also view him as the heart and soul of this football team. And we've talked about this on the pod sometimes over the last few years. I don't know if it was last year as much as the year before, but just what he does in the energy and what I think he gets the best out of everybody, to be honest with you, Smitty. And I don't think that's Bryce Young. I don't think Bryce Young is ever going to be the captain, the heart and soul of an offense. So I think having Hubbard on the field is very, very important. But this kid, if he's electric and he is what he was before he got injured 2 or 3 times ago in college, this is going to be a big one to make a call on. I'm going to make the call on Chuba Hubbard, but I'm also making a call on this is something that I'd like to avoid. But if I'm there and I need a running back and I've gone 0 RB and I need someone who I have to make the call on for the starting running back for the year and makes more fantasy points, Chuba Hubbard.
So I'm not even gonna. I fully agree with you. I fully do. I mean, again, we haven't seen Jonathan Brooks for play real football for 2 years. So just seeing him even out there is crazy. But I mean, it's crazy awesome for him. But at the end of the day, it's come on, man. I mean, honestly, I think Chuba and Rico, honestly, were a pretty big deal and were pretty instrumental in Bryce Young even getting to the playoffs. They were just very reliable. Obviously Ted as well, but those running backs in his side of vision were very important, So yeah, and Chuba is very important for Bryce Young's improvement, development, all that stuff. So pretty much everything you said, I fully agree with.
I'm not happy with you right now, Smitty. What are you doing to our listeners here? I thought this was set up to be the perfect BS meter argument of the week. Nah. This you lived for hype, little things like this. So Cassidy always says that you're fueled by hatred, and I think you're it does crack me up.
It's very true.
I don't believe that. I don't. But you are buying that Gainwell is as good or better as Bucky in the news headlines, and you're not believing the Brooks. I feel much better about the news being real about Brooks than I do Gainwell.
My God. I mean, look, I get that actually. I totally get it. I want to see, he is 100% a guy I am staring at on training in the preseason. He might be my number 1 appointment viewing type of player. I have got to see him on the field against real opponents because it's been too long. Understandably so. So many injuries, so awful. I hate it for him, but I got to see it now. Before I can, maybe I can be swayed by the first game, but as of right now, I really need that first game.
I have been somebody that is very confident in doing 0 RB strategies throughout my playing career. And if that happens to me in a redraft, I want to pray that I don't have the choice between one of these two as my RB1. I have failed my draft at that point. I don't feel good about either. I mean, the reality, this is probably going to be an absolute timeshare if Brooks is healthy as my. I just think it's going to be disgusting. I really do.
Especially if Brooks is back, then yeah, you are right. Ugh. Because you can't get rid of Hubbard at this point. You just can't. But you know what? Brooks is trying. He really is trying. So I would like to see how he looks in preseason. But yep, that is kind of nasty. RB1, an RB1 on your team? Jeez, you must be loaded everywhere else.
One of them better be the choice of an RB3 or worse. That's what. No, I'm serious. It scares me. But I will say, to the point of ride or die for this, I might take a couple stabs at Hubbard on the trade right now, just because I do have some teams that could desperately use his touches, even if it's a committee, and I think I can get him priced there right now with the potential that he gets 65% opposed to 50%. So that's kind of where my ride is. But all right, let's have some fun with these next players, because there's one guy that I mean, I'm always down to chop it up with the serial killer, BT Jr. I'm always down to talk shop with this one because nobody in this world is going to ever sway my love for Brian Thomas Jr. You don't do what he did as a rookie and don't have it in you. I don't care how many targets he got. I don't care who was throwing it. But when you do that on an NFL field, you can do that, which means that even if you're an inconsistent player year to year, you can have the years that you can do that. And everyone's going to say, oh, well, look at everyone around her, Parker. And by the way, I'm in on Parker too. You could put me in the ride category for him. I saw something on Sleeper the other day that literally the coach just said he looked at him and Parker just said, I'm ready to go. And I don't know why I read that. I was like, ooh, Parker. But the reality is I think they'll both do well, but I'm in. I'm in. And by the way, I have traded for Neighbors more than any other player in my league, in any of my leagues. And the number one player I've rejected every single trade offer that's come my way is for Brian Thomas Jr.
I haven't even, dude, honestly, you're right. It's in you, right? You can't have a season like that and just not be that guy anymore. But my issue actually, why I'm going to go ahead and say dive real quick is because I think there's too many mouths to feed, including the freaking tight ends. And we have Basil Tootin involved as well. I mean, that's just, congratulations, Trevor Lawrence. You have an embarrassment of riches. You have an arsenal of weapons. I freaking love that. That is so awesome. And we get to see the golden one really become golden. Like, actually, like, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be great. Cut his hair too, I think. Anyways, too many players to where I am not confident if I want to plant a flag on anyone. Like, shout out to Parker Washington. Shout out to Jacoby Myers as well. I don't even know how I feel about Brent Strange. I just don't like any of their target shares. I really just don't.
It sucks, dude. It definitely sucks. I will 100% agree with you there. But even if Brian Thomas Jr. is the 2, he is not being priced as the 2, dude.
That is true.
When you're in there, and especially like in these best ball drafts we've been doing, we get in this range and you got to choose between like a lot of these guys we're talking about. Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas Jr. Like there's somewhere within a round. So you either go get your guy or you just fade him and he's probably not going to be there on the way back. There's a lot of mouths to feed. You are correct, but I hate it, man. I'm back in. I hate this. I'm back in. Trevor Lawrence burned me so hard 2 years ago when I kept saying this is the level up year. And I was off the train last year and they finally level up. I'm on it, dude. I'm on it. This is the level of the leveling up year. I think they have the possibility of being one of the top 6 or 7 best teams in football.
Ooh, what? First off, yeah,
Offense-wise.
definitely.
Offense.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, and I completely forgot about Mr. Travis Hunter, who might even be involved in the offense. Too many to feed. But you know what? For a top 7 offense, honestly, yeah, we can say 6. We can even say 5. I fully believe in Liam Cohen. Every single one of those weapons are discounted. Every single one of them. Even Trevor. So, shout out to that. Just, I don't know. That's awesome.
1,310 his rookie year. You don't do that by accident. Like you don't do that by accident. And I do believe he was hurt last year. I really believe he was hurt. I'm totally in. So we're both in but you're out because of the target share.
I'm out. Yeah. 1,300 is actually crazy. Like 1,000 is impressive for a rookie, but dang, 13? Jesus. That guy's a dog.
Right,
no question.
Let's talk about my boy Reed up in Green Bay. Let's talk about we're going to talk about 2 of my ultimate. I've probably talked about more than anybody on this podcast. Jaden Reed, let's go. Where you at with him? This one's hard, man.
Yeah, it is hard, but okay. With Tucker Kraft pretty much back, or at least on his way back, we feel good about Tucker Kraft like being a healthy player and having the offense run through him. And then also Christian Watson, who is just my favorite Packer since Devontae. I mean, with that being the case, I'm out on Reed because I love Reed. I do love Reed, but I'm just more in on Watson. I'm like what he can do. And if Kraft is for real healthy, that's damaging. That's really damaging for Mr. Reed. So I'm out. Gotta let him
be the first
die,
year.
unfortunately.
It's going to be the first year. I can't believe the words are coming out of my mouth. I'm out, man.
Whoa.
I am out. It's Tucker Kraft. Smitty, it's Tucker Kraft. And when I look at Tucker Kraft, so I know coming off of an injury, it sometimes takes a year to fully recover. But I think we look at that a lot from the RB and wide receiver position. When we look at the tight end position that utilizes, they don't have to be fast. They don't have to cut. They utilize understanding how to read a defense and get in those zones and have the connection. So I fully expect Tucker Kraft to be locked and loaded this year. And I do see him as the dude for the offense, which leaves your downfield threat in Watson. I think that's going to be the burner. We're going to see what Christian Watson does. But yeah, I don't see a lot of touchdowns. I see a lot of completions, within 5 or 10 yards of the line of scrimmage again.
Hey, and then PPR will take that. We'll take that. It's just, I don't know. I mean, he's a total basketball guy. Like, I'll say this: I'd much rather have Reed than Golden, and I, for sure, would rather have Reed than Golden, because I honestly don't even know about Golden.
I don't know if that's the case for me. I don't think I want the wide receiver 2 in Green Bay. Is actually what it comes down to.
I honestly see Love is one of those guys like Lawrence. Not quite like Lawrence, but just doesn't. You know what? Cam Ward is someone who I want to be like Love. Just I see someone down there. I thought, oh, here we go. End division, perfect. I think Love can be as good as Caleb. I really, really do. And just, I don't know why he doesn't run more, honestly, but I just feel like he is super down to, just do the yellow balls. And I feel like he has an arsenal that's good enough for him to just truck it, whatever, and he'll see what happens. And that just bodes really well for Watson. And if things get scary, that bodes really well for Kraft, like you've been saying. So I don't know. I just don't know about Reed. Oh, and that also bodes well for Golden. So maybe I am more in Golden.
If Caleb Williams was a starting quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, I'd be much more in on Reed. I think when you get in a room of, so when you're used to in your life competing and being the best, and you are the best in no matter what room you're at, and you get a room with 32 people, and you look at a few other people, and you're just like, they just have something else. There's maybe 10 of those in the league, and Caleb is one of them. Jordan Love does not have that where you're just like that Hail Mary stuff and the Iceman stuff. You look down and you're like, what? That was another level that some people can't get to. That's my own take on that one. But I do want to talk about someone that I'm in.
Okay.
And I've never stopped my love. And I'll never stop my love. Josh Downs. Let's go. This is going to be the ride or die. And Smitty, I'm going to present the case to you because I think this is the biggest ride or die we have to pick. I think this is almost bigger than Marv and Michael Wilson. Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. All right. Alec Pierce coming off of injury. You know what? Believe it or not, he had a good year last year. He's gotten, I think he only had like 50 catches or 42, but he was known as a cardio king, consistently gotten better every single year. Pushes out Pity City. They sign him. Big contract. We're looking down and saying, this is our one. Then you got Josh Downs on the other side, who everybody has always talked about his skill set. They've always said, man, this kid can break out. We just need to give him a chance. Now he has a chance. Now he's got the full chance. But then you have Tyler Warchild Warden right back there and JT and your quarterback coming off of an Achilles tear with A-Rich as the backup. How are you viewing Josh Downs and Alec Pierce? And I'm going to make you have to ride and you have to die with one of them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this injury made this difficult, but assuming, okay, so as of right now, Pierce is not out there. He's not playing. He's not practicing. That's really upsetting, but injury, right? So assuming healthy, I am super duper 1,000,000% almost my dude levels of in on Alec Pierce. So I am riding high. Let me ride with Mr. Alec Pierce. I am super in. Now, I don't want to say I don't want to let Downs die because I still do see his role being important while Alec is out. But yeah, I vastly prefer Pierce.
I don't know why. I understand why. I can't sell myself the story. I don't know why. Do I have too much love for Josh Downs? Is he just one of those players that no matter what?
Dude, you have a love for a lot of players, and honestly, not too many of them failed. Like, you've been hidden, but this one right here, I think you kind of smashed this one. In fact, when he was a rookie, we were in a rookie draft, and I wanted to stack him with A-Rich, but at the end of the day, I only drafted him because I wanted to stack him with A-Rich. I didn't feel it at all. However, you have always felt it, and honestly, you're about to it's about to pull off. Like, you're really...
Nah, it's make or break, man. It's make or break. And the thing is, I just gave up on Reed, and literally the exact same argument for the Colts is right there. Tight end, and I don't know why I can't give up on Downs. And I really actually like Reed better. That's the funny part about this. But let's do a little Scary Terry and Ricky P. I know they're not on the same team. Let's break them down together.
Wait, who? Who's the second
Ricky
guy?
got swelling after his surgery that he had. I saw notes on that today. There are no other wide receivers in Washington outside of Scary Terry, but I think he's like 30 now. 29 to 30, he'll play this year, right in that range. I can't wait for you to tell me every rich reason why you're in on Scary Terry.
I mean, look, if you are willing to believe that Jaden Daniels is coming back to form, which, I mean, look, we've been talking about how great some of these players have played in rookie year and how they kind of just fell off the year after and how we're hoping that they'd bring it back. He is another guy. He's one of the biggest guys, Jaden Daniels. I think he is 1,000,000% going to come back, maybe even better than before. I am super duper high on him. With that being the case, number one target, it's okay. Look, he's a 30-year-old man that's older than his peers for sure, but he is the number one target for this kid. The number one target of any, I don't care if Josh Downs was the number one target for Jaden Daniels, I'd be the highest on Josh Downs, right? Like, I feel so great. But the thing about Scary Terry is he kind of freaking does it all. He kind of does it all. Excellent deep threat, middle of the field. He can kind of kill that too. I'd rather him not do short area stuff, but I mean, if he must do all the motion stuff too, I'd rather he don't do that either. Anyways, I feel excellent because I feel like this offense is just it's utilizing him the best way they can at his age. Like, I feel I'm way too high on Scary Terry. I'm realizing we have really spoke about some my dudes here. Gainwell, I'm way too high on. I'm way, way, way too high on Scary Terry, and freaking man, I'm in on Pierce too. But yeah, I feel great about that, especially with his quarterback being Jaden Daniels, someone who is still using the VR goggles to learn how to play the game. Oh, by the way, sorry, I am going on a tangent officially. On the show Quarterback, I didn't realize this. He's using the VR goggles he's using it on like a 1x or like 2x speed. I don't know if it's 2x, but he's using it faster than the actual gameplay. So he has to process things a heck of a lot faster. So with that being, maybe that's a standard, but the fact that I know that he does that is so awesome to me. So yeah, I'm very, very in on Scary Terry. Someone who I'm actually not afraid of him being
weird to me. And I do have news for you on this one. And I hate to say this, but I'm so friggin' in on Terry. I am so friggin' in on Scary Terry. Look, I don't like being in on 30-year-old wide receivers. But here is the stone cold truth about this. So here's the best ball we're doing. Superflex, start 10. And here is where Scary Terry, we can't talk redraft yet just because that hasn't revealed itself yet. But here's a choice that people had to make. And this is around the 5-6 turn. You had to make a choice between Tet, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Scary Terry, Egbuka, and Waddle. And I'm staring down at this and I'm like, okay, Zay Flowers the one, Tet's the one, G Willie's the one, Devontae's the one. Oh crap, Adams is not the one. Egbuka, we do believe he's going to be the one. Waddle, competition, I'm like, Scary Terry has none. He's like the last true number one wide receiver that is not going to have a competition. And that's why I love him. And he's priced right there. It's perfect pricing.
It really is a perfect price. And even you mentioned all those other guys, like, I feel like his offense really does handle his age and talent very well. Maybe that says more about Jane Daniels than anything. All I'm saying is, yes, I'm very excited. And Mr. Inside joke there. I'm just very in on Mr. Harry McLaurin.
I really hope Brandon Ayuk does not sign with them.
Man, really yeah. He said to, I mean, he really went after Jaden Daniels and his mother. Like, that was, you can't even, awful. Can't have that in the building.
You want to talk about some sad things?
Yeah, let's get them.
Ricky's got swelling in his PCL. I want to be in on Ricky so bad. And I'll be honest with you, until today, I have been fully in. I still think I'm in, but can he please stay healthy? Because I don't believe Mike Evans is the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco. I don't believe he is. I think he's going to do exactly what he's done. I think he's going to be a touchdown magnet. But I also don't think people are like, we have to shut him down. Like, I don't think he's a 130 target guy. I don't. He's going to get injured. We know this. We know he's not playing 16 games. So I've been so in, but man, I'm getting nervous. And by the way, we still are on the ride or die. And as of this moment, I'm still riding. I'm still buying this little dip. Maybe this can be a short dip. This is the first part of training camp. We already knew he was injured. Maybe it's like, hey, let me just ice it up and I'm good. Let me take a day off. I'm still working to get back. But I have a feeling you're going to trash this one.
Man, dude, I hated what I saw. Hate is a strong word. Honestly, it's a very strong emotion, and Cassidy's right about me. He clocked me real good with that one. But I was not at all pleased with what I saw from him when he tried to return from injury last season. And I know last season is not. We can't just bring everything from last season and predict it to happen exactly the same way. We cannot do that. But I'm super out. And the thing is, I actually fully agree with what you said. Mike Evans is not going to get these 130 targets. He just isn't built for that. I mean, he's built for that, but he's not built for that, So, but he is for sure the one. He's for like 100%, no question about it now. So, I don't know. Maybe this is. Honestly,
I think a lot of people will question us saying that Mike Evans isn't the one, and don't hear what we're not saying. This is just, I mean, an absolute, we're penciling you in for 16 games. You're going to go out there and you're going to do what you've done the last 12 years.
right.
Like, our expectation has to be a little bit lower, but I still think he can go get 10 or 12 touchdowns. Like, I do believe
100.
that 100% I absolutely believe. But there's got to be someone else to stretch this field now.
Yes. And I mean, is it really, like, have we made the greatest case for that second round pick, DeJon Stribling? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't quite know his name, but apparently the Rams thought he was the best receiver in the draft, which, like, honestly, if we attach Rams to anything 2025 draft, I'm just blanket. So, if they want to say that, then that's fine. But anyways, shout out to Mr. Stribling.
You fueled by hatred. I can't believe you read it that way, because how I read that was, you didn't get Puka, who was the best wide receiver in the draft in this round. You overshot and you went and drafted a nobody. I took that as a dig, dude.
Oh, hey, nice. I love that. Hey, absolutely. That's a great way to look at that, because I really thought they were trying to be.
All right, let's stick on the Niners. Jordan James yesterday was viewed as the second RB according to Sleeper and these little clickbaits. Today fractured his ribs, so we're back to Black being the backup now. But this sucks. I mean, but look at it. If this just ruined your world on Jordan James going down, I'd probably say you haven't built your squad properly.
Great point. But you know what? I've been thinking about this. I've talked about how Scary Terry is, how this offense is made for him to just, like, really be the do-it-all guy at his age, and how we kind of feel like Mike Evans not quite same. Christian McCaffrey honestly is like that guy really is this offense. Honestly, this offense overloads him for sure. Like it gave him way too much, but at the same time, he is actually built like he really can do all this. So at this point, let it be Mr. Black, let it be James when he's healthy, let it be whoever other running back they have. It's CMC and no one else. And considering all these injuries happening left and right, like CMC really might be the same guy he was last year, just overutilized. And plus, I still don't even know if Kittle's on or off the pup list. So, I mean, Kittle's availability is a question mark to me. So, I mean, look, RB3 might easily be Mr. CMC. Damn it. I did not want that to rhyme, but yeah, here we are.
So your opponent didn't know it. I love it. But
fire.
All right. So here's how I'm looking at CMC this year. So this is a team that was in a Super Bowl a couple years ago. I can't remember every year, but let's just say their window's been open for 6 or 7 years. Like they've been a dominant team throughout a really good stretch here, and it didn't happen for them last year the way they wanted it to. Christian McCaffrey's getting old. You've got a tight end that's getting old. You've got your number one wide receiver, you know, how you're viewing it from the NFL, not fantasy, as old. Your window's closing. Your window's done, dude. Like you got to get this done this year. And I don't think if I'm Christian McCaffrey, I'm remotely thinking about taking it easy this year. I mean, as a running back, like his time is already limited. And I think he sees that he wants to win the Super Bowl. This is going to be just exactly what it was last year for Christian McCaffrey. And I think it's going to look a lot the same. I don't think he's going to have his I don't think he's going to have those plays that he hits 40, 50 yards, but I think we're going to look down and it's going to be like, how did Christian McCaffrey become RB1 again? I'm not saying he's going to be RB1, but I'm just saying, would that surprise anybody?
No, especially with all these injuries. No, not at all.
Yeah. So, all right, man, I got nothing else. I know you don't want to talk about Chris Brazzell because that had to hurt a little bit.
Oh,
that was your deep, dark, deep league sleeper.
Dude, last episode of we were walking into training camp and you said, hey, what is something that you're pretty excited for? There was a lot of things. There were so many things I could have said. So many other things. I mean, heck, I was really excited to see what's the deal with Jonathan Brooks, but I said Chris Brazzell because I just feel like I don't know. I kind of like him more than Coker just as a prospect. I feel like he could have done something for Mr. Bryce Young. Maybe he could have had Tet in the slot more and he'd just be the downfield guy and Coker be everything else. And then maybe we actually utilize Jadeveon Sanders. I don't know. I just was having a nice little dream about the Carolina Panthers, and Chris Brazzell has an LCL injury and he is going to miss 8 weeks, which I think is the majority, all of training camp. I think maybe even some time in the season. Just it doesn't look good. He might not be utilized like kind of at all. And the time he is healthy and playing, it's gonna cut into the other receivers. So shout out Mr. Leggett. You have a job again. I'm so happy for him. But this sucks. I was really excited to see Chris Brazzell. So I gotta take my L on that one.
It sucks, man. When injuries happen, the reality is we're playing football.
Yeah, yeah. I thought about that too.
By the time we do this podcast next week, there's going to be 4 or 5 more to talk about. And the reality is there's going to be one before the season starts that's just going to fucking suck. Like it's going to be a big boy on a team and it's just going to suck. And come on, let's get all of our players healthy through here, man. Let's do this. But yeah, Jalen Coker to the moon. Yeah. So if you're in on Coker, look, we're all in on Tet. I don't think there's anyone that's really a Tet hater. Like, would you have to be in on Bryce?
No, I'm
so not in on Bryce.
No, I don't. He doesn't even utilize, like, this is more of a Jatavian Sanders issue, but he doesn't even utilize the tight end. Like, his offense is so freaking, there are weapons everywhere. Not that they're great, but he has targets everywhere, and he doesn't really utilize. Now, I will admit this, as a Rams fan, he did have us on the ropes in the playoffs. I was, at some point, actually nervous. So I will give him that. He totally deserves my respect in some ways, but for a 17-week fantasy season, nah, I'm super out. I don't even mean to be rude about it, but I am. I'm out.
I'm out, but that doesn't mean I don't think that means I got to be out on his receivers, which is really weird for me. But all right, man. Anything else you want to talk about? We'll get out of here.
Yeah, I just want to show one clip because this got me excited. I just want to know if this is worthy of your excitement because you know this guy does this on a regular basis, but it was pretty freaking cool to see. About la 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 la, we got Mr. Trey McBride about to run a route here, or a drill rather, and let's take a look. Come on, play, please.
Can we end every podcast with a Trey McBride clip?
All right, let's
nasty.
See. Dusted him. Sorry, I just had to show that. I didn't want to make sure.
Nasty, man. Smitty, of all my predictions in the world, you know, the only one that I am so happy has truly come true, and it's this year. It's the Titan Revolution that I was talking about 3 years ago when no one wanted to believe me, dude. It is here, and I'm so happy. Cheers, listeners. Catch you next week with a whole bunch more camp news.
Yep. See ya.
Step into the spotlight, it's the Dynasty team. Brian B. Money making all the dreams gleam. Carl Smitty Smith, watch him rise in the scene. Together they ignite, it's the ultimate scheme. Hold on tight, feel the hype, we're just getting started. Dynasty's BS Show, we're climbing to the peak. B Money and Smitty, every episode unique. Confidence high, yeah, we never stay weak. Tune in with us, learn the craft and technique.